And good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Philly podcast presented by CEVSports.com, streaming live on the CEV Sports Podcast Network. As always, I'm joined by Chris Lahiff and Pat Houseman. And tonight we're going to be talking a lot of Eagles, a lot of NFL football. But as a perfect segue into the football chatter tonight, we're going to debut our brand new show intro video that was most graciously supplied to us by our friends over at the Monkey's Uncle. So without further ado, here it is. Sit back and enjoy.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
It's easy to sum it up. We talking about practice.
I think it's about as casual as it gets.
What's the problem now?
That's a clown question, bro.
I think we understand the beating in our league.
World champions!
Start playing with some jam in here. Let's go.
Philadelphia, looking as only you can look. Woo!
Here we go.
Well, there it is. What you guys think?
You know me, I loved it. I know Pat might have had a problem with the one, but other than that, I'm pretty sure he loved the other ones.
Yeah. All good.
You got 6. We got 1. You'll deal with it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, but again, thank you very much to our friend Derek Morgan from the Monkey's Uncle. He put that together for us, and of course, they're one of our sponsors, and couldn't be more excited to have them on board. And again, thank you for that awesome show intro. So now, gentlemen, we're leading to the Philly. So, no.
So obviously, with preseason officially over, we're going to talk Eagles football. And what is everyone's state of how they feel as an Eagles fan, how they feel, as Pat's a Patriots fan, with all the rumors coming around that Deshaun Watson's going to Miami. Will that throw a wrinkle into the AFC East? Is anybody really favored in the AFC East other than Buffalo? I mean, we all know Belichick is successful, but is Cam Newton the starter? Is Mac Jones the starter? So if Mac Jones is the starter, you got to think there's going to be some growing pains over in the AFC East. We'll get to the AFC East in a minute with Pat, but then you go back to the NFC East, and I again, 4 games and a couple snaps in preseason, and people are going to tell me that they're confident in Jalen Hurts. I don't understand what you guys see. Anyone who tells me that they're confident in Jalen Hurts, explain it to me like I'm 4, like Michael Scott would say. Because there's nothing that he has shown me, and it's not his fault other than he hurt his belly in preseason too. He had the shits apparently, but there's nothing else that he has done that has impressed me. Everyone goes back to the Arizona game. Well, that was 2020. We're sounding like Dallas Cowboys fans. I don't want to live in the past. He had 3 good quarters in 4.5 games. That's not good enough for me. If that's good enough for other Eagles fans, this is why we're a mediocre franchise at best. Great fans, absolutely the greatest in the world. I love our fans. Again, doesn't equate to them being smart. I love our fans. Our fans are passionate. We go to every game, even when they're supposedly destined to lose 14 games this year. But, the guy over at Philly Sports Alliance, Ryan, he was on a show yesterday with Bird Gang, and he had hit us up to do a collaboration. And, listening to the guy, he sounded very intelligent, newest stuff. And then he turned around and said the Eagles are going to win 13 games. They might not win 13 games in the next 2 seasons combined. And I'm being dead serious. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that because they're rebuilding. They're rebranding their franchise. If you don't go out and get Gardner Minshew because you have faith in Jalen Hurts, I don't care what anyone says. Gardner Minshew has been a starter in the league. He's played started 23 games. He knows how to play the position. But if he's starting for the Eagles, we're starting all over again in 2022. Like it's inevitable. Like Thanos said, it's inevitable. Like it's gonna happen. So, what are your thoughts, Eric?
Well, I think the move for Minshew is a clear sign that they're not that confident in Jalen Hurts. They were linked to Deshaun Watson for the longest time, and then I believe it was Friday night. His own agent came out with a statement and said that the Eagles were never on his radar when he requested a trade. And then Saturday morning, sixth round pick Gardner Minshew's in the mix. He's in the locker room for the Eagles. So that tells.
Which is a steal. I don't care.
It is. It honestly is. Like, I'm not upset with the deal itself. I mean, some will sit there and say, well, now you got 3 quarterbacks on the roster. As a fly goes in front of my face. But yeah, I don't have a problem with the trade. I think Minshew is a lot better than Mullins and Flacco combined. He's younger yet, and for 2 years you have him for less than $1 million a season.
Right.
So
I don't know what people don't. I don't know what people want out of it.
yeah, where people think now, what you were saying, where people are thinking that Jalen Hurts is like this, this franchise player all of a sudden just because he's the starter. I don't understand it because I agree with you. He had 4 starts, went 1-3, and we didn't see him really in the preseason for this year, which he didn't have in preseason last year, and he needed it for this year, and we just didn't see it. So
Yeah, I wonder what the excuse is going to be this year.
I don't know.
That's my concern.
Yeah, but I totally feel that they were in the hunt now for a quarterback. They were in it for Watson until that information came out, and they backed off. And then just that fast, you have a deal for a quarterback. So, I mean, that's my take on it. I don't think Howie Roseman is completely sold on Jalen Hurts. I think they just went with him because he was there, and that was it. You know, now it makes this whole thing makes the Carson Wentz trade look terrible for the franchise now. But with that, I mean, like, Pat, what are your thoughts?
So why did Jacksonville get rid of Minshew if he could have been a good backup quarterback for cheap?
Because they didn't want. Because let's be like, look at Gardner Minshew. He's been in the league for 2 years. He's always in the news. He's a draw.
Okay.
And they for me, because they went with a guy who they're going with Trevor Lawrence. If Trevor Lawrence has 2 bad games, the fans are going to be calling for Gardner Minshew.
Right. So
Now,
why bring that circus here when regardless
it's already a circus here. It's already a circus here.
And that's exactly why Deshaun Watson didn't want to come here.
Deshaun Watson didn't want to come here because he doesn't want to play in. I never believed Deshaun Watson want to come here. I
didn't think so either. But like, if the Eagles were the only team left, he still didn't want to come here. I think a lot of it has to do with the issues with the front office. But like I said, why bring that circus here? You don't need your backup quarterback to be Gardner Minshew. You're hoping this guy never plays. If your backup quarterback comes in, the season's shot 9 times out of 10 anyway. That's just the reality of it. Now, it's already happened here once where that wasn't the case. You think lightning's going to strike twice in a matter of 2 decades? I seriously doubt it. So my whole thing, and Gardner Minshew's not a guy who's going to save you a season either. You are married to Jalen Hurts. You used a 2nd-round pick on this guy. So you are married to him. You at least owe him a year, maybe 2, to see what he's got.
Oh, I so disagree with you. They don't owe Jalen Hurts anything. This franchise owes Jalen Hurts, doesn't owe him a goddamn thing.
You got rid of your franchise quarterback and you kept him. You used a 2nd-round pick.
It was legitimately the worst move in the last 2 years of the draft. Other than Jalen Reagor, it was a terrible pick.
Regardless, you did that. As a GM, Howie Roseman did that. Now he's got to see what this guy has. In order to see what he has, this guy has to play a full season. And you can't have the fans. You said there's going to be growing pains at the top of the show with Mac Jones. There's going to be growing pains with this guy too. You have to see it through, and you can't have a guy that everybody's going to be clamoring for when you're trying to get this guy to have his confidence up. It takes a lot to play quarterback in this town. We've talked about it before. There's certain positions in this town where you kind of need fan support. You need people throwing. This is going to be a distraction. The guy, TK and Ryzen said, this is going to be a distraction because people are going to be saying, "Oh, throw the guy with the mustache in. He's a lot better, but he's funny. He wears, ripped jeans, and he's like a gimmick." So people are going to call for that, and like it's just not a good situation that you have a young quarterback in that you did kind of hedge as your future by taking him in the second round, then releasing or trading your franchise quarterback.
So you used the word gimmick, correct?
Yeah. So for Gardner Minshew, yes.
And is Jalen Hurts not a gimmick?
He's
He
not.
He was a gimmick last year. He was a
draft
gimmick last year.
A gimmick as in he's like on Barstool, like a big joke. Like people are going to – we're talking about two totally different things.
No, I listen, I don't think Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback. I don't. Like, if the Eagles came out tomorrow and said that Gardner Minshew was the starter, I would be like, all right, whatever.
Howie
Roseman,
like, the current GM of the team used a second-round pick on the guy.
And
you kind of have to see. You have to see what he
the guy
has.
was a projected, but I get that. But the guy was a projected fourth-round pick. He was a projected fourth-round pick. That's a terrible pick.
A large pick into him.
Okay, so J.J. Arcega-Whiteside was a second-round pick. We don't owe him shit.
He
needs to play on the practice squad.
They gave him 3 years. They gave him 3 years.
Oh, he's not. No, it's only 2.
I think it's 3 because DK Metcalf has been in the league how many years? I think he's 3, right?
Like he's got to get cut.
Okay.
I don't think JJ's going to make the team. I mean, I don't care. He played the Jets.
Because when he scored a touchdown the other night, they said that might have secured his spot. So.
Oh my God! If that secures a spot because you played against the third string Jets with Joe Flacco, and I wasn't confident with Joe Flacco. Like right. I look at so like you're going back to how they drafted Jalen Hurts in the second round. All right, so you drafted Gardner Minshew to be your back, or you brought in Gardner Minshew to be your backup. At the end of the day, it's all about money. So Gardner Minshew is only making $800,000 next year, and he's only making $900,000 this year. So it's I get the distraction, but for me personally, I don't think Flacco looked. He looked okay. Gardner Minshew. Hold on. Gardner Minshew actually played in the preseason. Didn't look terrible. We all knew. Like he competed with Trevor Lawrence. He made Trevor Lawrence probably better because Trevor Lawrence had a ridiculous game against Dallas. I don't know exactly how many starters played for Dallas, but I think he was like 11 of 12 for like 130 yards and 2 touchdowns. So I don't know how many. If any of the starters played. But I've led off this show. I've been saying it for months. I've been saying it since the end of last season. I have zero faith in Jalen Hurts. Doesn't mean I'm gonna root against him. But again, I don't have any faith in this team making the playoffs. I don't have any faith in this team being ran by Howie Roseman. I don't have any faith in this team with Jeffrey Lurie being the owner. I have more faith in Nick Sirianni. My goal, I've been saying it, and Eric, and you can back me up. The key to the Eagles' success is playing 90s football. They need to run the ball, control the clock, and keep their defense fresh. Their defense is set to actually be good. Like they have 2 good safeties. They have 3 good corners. Their front 4 is good. Their reserves are good. Alex Singleton's good. Don't ask me any other linebackers.
So here's my take.
But other than that,
you invested a second-round pick in the guy. You don't have anybody on the current active roster that's in the top 100 from NFL.com. Nobody. So you're depleted of talent. The one thing that you're looking really to try to build on is the guy you invested that second-round pick in, and it was an investment. When you draft somebody that high, that's an investment pick. Okay. Dak Prescott was a 4th-round pick, and that was still an investment pick by the Cowboys because after camp happened, it was pretty much like, wow, well, we have this guy. We got to give him a shot. There's certain positions and like certain picks. Like if he's a 3rd or 4th-round pick, probably not. But you're drafting a quarterback in the top 2 rounds. You have anticipation that this guy's going to play for you. Your team's depleted of talent. It supposedly got a little bit better, but you have to give this guy the keys to the car and say, go do your thing and have confidence in him. Move like that, like you just said, somebody else said at the top of the show, it shows that you have no confidence in the guy. So if you don't believe in the guy from a team perspective, why is the guy going to believe in himself? You're already starting out in a bad headspace there. That's not good. That's not endorsing your guy. You're not giving him confidence. It's just I thought it was a really impulsive, really stupid move. And to be honest, if he goes down or he doesn't have a good year, Jalen Hurts, the team's shot anyway because you're so devoid of talent. According to according to these rankings, you're so devoid of talent. They're not going to, like you just said, they're not going to win 13 games in the next 2 years. So just see what you got in the guy. Like I said, you invested in the pick. See what you got. You at least owe it to yourself to give yourself a good look at it. And if you're going to do that, you need to have the guys back. It needs to be, confidence. Like that stuff can't even be on the table if they lack confidence in him. It has to be his play on the field that, is really the determining factor here. You can't go in and say, you know what, we're just not going to protect this guy. We're not going to, have faith in him. You got to give him all those things. So then there's no excuses at the end of the day. He just didn't perform on the field.
All right, so you're going back to the NFL's 100 list. We'll tackle that for a second. I've always said the list is a joke. The list is absolute joke. There's nothing you can tell me that says Jason Kelce shouldn't be in that list. You had the center from the Green Bay Packers on there. Knock it off. You had it over Jason Kelce. Kirk Cousins made the list at 93. Kirk Cousins isn't even respected by his own fan base. He's not a good quarterback. He's not. He's a joke. The only thing that dude is good at is negotiating his own contract. Him and Kevin Cobb and Sam Bradford have done nothing but steal money from franchises over the last 16 years in this league. I get what you're saying about the list, but the fact that the Fletcher Coxes of the world and Jason Kelce and even Brandon Brooks, but Brandon Brooks was injured last year. How you're putting Dak Prescott on a list at 50, which he should be lower just because he didn't play last year.
He shouldn't. Yeah, I mean that's why
50. He should be in the 90, 80 to 100 because you don't know what you're going to get from him this year.
Right.
Like their line was decimated last year. Dallas's line. Who knows what if he would have played and not had his leg come out from the side of his ankle.
I think there's only two teams that didn't put anybody on there. It's them and the Jags, and that's a bad look. It's just not a good look.
Right, and that's why, like I said, I don't take those lists for what they are. Like I said, if you're telling me that there's someone on the Jets who's above the Eagles and who's above the Jaguars, or maybe the Jets and the Jaguars, it's fine. But if you're going to tell me that there isn't anybody, there's somebody on the Jets who's on there but not on the Eagles, who? You say Sam Darnold, I'll burn MetLife Stadium down. So no one even say MetLife Stadium or Witching. So that is La Terrain. That is one of our sponsors of the show, and that's a pretty funny throw over the mountains. It's a pretty funny comment. I like it.
There we go. We're back. There we go.
So
that's funny.
All right. So that was a good 18 minutes of Eric listening to me and Pat argue a little bit. But go ahead, Eric.
No, that was totally cool. I enjoyed it, but I mean, I kind of, in a way, I agree with you at some points, Chris, and I agree with Pat in some other points. I mean, regardless of where they drafted Jalen Hurts, the bottom line is they drafted him in the second round. So they had to stand by that pick. So it looked okay after Carson Wentz blew up in their face. So they were caught between a rock and a hard place. I don't think Jalen Hurts was necessarily the guy that they wanted to have start, we know they didn't envision him to be the starter right away. We know that. I mean, you wouldn't have gone out and signed Wentz to that extension, and then the year it kicks in, you draft this kid in the second round. For whatever reason, they drafted him in the second round. Now, I don't believe that he is right now starting quarterback material for an NFL team. I like Jalen Hurts. I drafted him in dynasty leagues. But, well, you can make faces all you want. When you're talking fantasy football.
No, I know.
When you're
I'm
talking
teasing.
fantasy
I'm
football,
teasing. Relax.
So, what you call it? Don't tell me to relax. I'll shut you off. So anyway, see, now you got me all screwed up.
You were talking about you drafted him for fantasy, even though you're not confident as
Yeah,
a
no.
starter. You
Yeah,
drafted
no,
him for
I'm
fantasy.
not that confident with him as a starter, but like you said, as I'll back him. He's my guy for right now. But
Right.
I really don't I don't know. I really don't think like this move they went and made a move for a quarterback for a reason. Okay, now you're going to have the people that don't know crap sit there and say, "Oh, it's because they could see he was better than Carson Wentz." I still want someone to say that. I still want an NFL person to say that, and not some people not some people watching a podcast. It's like I want to know, what do people think that Jalen Hurts has done or is that makes him this terrific player. I think he's a nice player, and he could.
Good. Yeah, I'm not. I don't. You froze. You good? You froze. All right, there you go. Good.
Yeah. No.
You
So
froze. I'm sorry.
okay. I want to know from people, like, what makes them think that Jalen Hurts is this terrific player, because if you read social media, you might as well put him in the Hall of Fame now. And I have to walk away from it. So
To your point, do you know what people will say? And it's the argument that I have is that the team played better around them. Like
that's
they
the
went
weakest argument ever.
they went 1-3. And do you know? And when Eagles fans get called out on it, they get in their feelings. Ryan Clark called them out on it on Twitter, and they all got in their feelings. Like, they all got in his DMs, and they got all mad because he was like that the Eagles didn't have, not that they didn't have any faith, but they were like, maybe Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. And then, in the one group, Angie posted it, and everyone's like, oh, this and that. And I'm like, I'm not in my feelings. I know how I feel. I'll say this. I think Jalen Hurts is better than Daniel Jones. And that's not saying much because Daniel Jones is Carson Wentz 2.0 when it comes to fumbling. That dude fumbles the ball all the time. That dude is butterfingers like up and down the field. But like I don't understand why. Like, and I defended Wentz until he wasn't an Eagle. Like, so I did that. And like now people are still ripping Wentz for his whatever issues he's got. But the way that people are defending Jalen Hurts, we know what we got after 3.5 seasons of Carson Wentz. We knew his talent. I was impressed with him in 2016. Clearly, we all saw 2017. We saw what he did in 2018 for like 7 games before he got hurt and played with a broken back. And we saw what he did in 2019. And now people just think because he had a bad season in 2020 that he is a terrible quarterback and he doesn't know how to play the game. Like, he just forgot how to play. He just forgot how to play quarterback. Like, do you know who forgot how to play quarterback and looked terrible 7 years ago on a Monday night game against the Kansas City Chiefs? Tom Brady. And they said on the broadcast, maybe this was it. Maybe this was the end of the Tom Brady era. Maybe it's final. And what the hell has he done since? He's won 3 goddamn Super Bowls since that broadcast. 3. Are you kidding me? He's 40. I don't even know how old he is. I'm going to get mad. I think he's like 43.
He won 4.
Shut up. So he did win 4. I forgot. I wasn't counting the Tampa Bay one.
Yeah.
But he's won 4 since then. And so these people who just, these commentators, these Max Kellermans, these other guys, he's got to fall off a cliff. Well, when's Tom Brady going to fall off a cliff? I want to do a quick 3-minute segment. When's Tom Brady going to fall off a cliff? Is he literally going to fall off a cliff and die, or is he ever going to start sucking again? Because, it would be nice if he could, so that other people can win. It's like, at this point, it's just not fair. I think it's great when he's not playing my team. But I think it's great for football because how mad people get at it and the haters out there. But he's got to have 3 more seasons left in him.
He very well could.
He signed a 2-year extension.
Yeah, I mean, he very well could. Well, that extension was to help them get some players that he wanted to keep. And it worked. So, I mean,
and he's still going to play.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what they're going to do. I mean, he's just phenomenal. He really is.
He's
really
legitimate.
is.
He's legitimately the ultimate teammate. He's like, all right, I'll take pay cuts. I'll take pay cuts. And then Tampa Bay gave him a boatload of money. They're like, oh, well, listen, we'll extend this to open up our salary cap. You can still play quarterback. And New England lost their mind. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we'll go back to NFC East in a couple minutes, but let's go over the AFC East because obviously the Bills are the favorite to win the division as they should be. They legitimately have the best quarterback in the division. So yeah, if anyone says otherwise, you don't know football. I mean, they're legitimately like they're trading. Miami's trading Deshaun Watson when they have another Alabama quarterback on the roster. Like Tua's getting like just straight disrespected. Like I don't get it.
He really is. He's getting disrespected like crazy, and I don't understand it. I really don't understand it.
So I'm gonna go with Pat. So Pat, you go.
Yeah, I don't know how the hell you're the Dolphins and you select Tua Tagovailoa at 5, only to turn around and be like, nah, this guy isn't the guy. When you really didn't give him an opportunity to flourish last year. They were in a very similar situation. They bring a young quarterback in, and then they handcuff him to Fitzmagic, who is like some goofball, barstool type of guy who says funny things during, interviews. So the fans, as soon as Tua starts to struggle a little bit, they're yelling for Fitzpatrick to come in. And what did the Dolphins do? They bought Fitzpatrick in, did the worst thing they could have possibly done. Instead of just letting this kid try to get the confidence he needed to flourish. Makes no sense to me. And to be honest, if I was any NFL team, I would not bring Deshaun Watson in. The guy's got 22 counts still pending. FBI still involved. Police are still involved. It's a crazy situation. Like, I don't know why any team. People were saying, oh, yeah, well, he might get an 8-game suspension. He might not be allowed to ever play again. Like, what the hell are you talking about, 8-game suspension? If, like, he gets charged with one of these and found guilty, he's done. Like, he's done. Like, we're talking, like, the stuff like Trevor Bauer and all that, he ain't even playing right now. And this guy's got 22 counts. Now, it wasn't as bad as some of the stuff that hasn't really leaked about Deshaun Watson as much as it did about Bauer, but, like, 22 people, that's like, you're in some serious trouble, bro. I'm shocked to hear that so many teams are still interested in this guy and that he might be on the move. That's insane to me. But,
yes, I don't know. I mean, you look back at the stuff with Ben Roethlisberger,
but that was one girl. That was one girl and settled out of court.
Yeah,
it's 22, and unless if all these people settle out of court, like, more's going to come out. 22. Like, it shocks me that Antonio Brown's playing because there were so many people that came out, so many women came out about that I thought that was going to bury this guy. Like, there's so many people involved in this. There's so many hands in this that I just don't see this having the ending that this guy thinks it's going to have. He's going to get nailed, and his career's over. That's it. I don't see, that coming back. There's just so many people that are, like I said, involved in this case at this point that I don't see this having the ending that he desires. And Josh Gordon got 53 chances. Like, smoking a little bit of weed, the big difference from what's going on with Deshaun Watson. Now, he's an idiot because he had so many chances and he continued to squander it. But the Deshaun Watson thing, I don't see, I just don't see this having the ending that this guy thinks it's going to have where it's all going to go away. It's too big at this point.
The thing I find really concerning with the whole Deshaun Watson thing is the fact that he hasn't said nothing. Like they have screenshots of them saying, of the one girl saying to him, like, look, this is not a service that we perform. This isn't what it is. And he's answering her. It's like, dude, it's right there in black and white on a screenshot. Like, you answered this woman who's saying, no, I do not perform, sexual acts. And he's trying to get her to do it.
Right. Like I said, it's not a situation that he's going to win.
Something.
And it's going to be bad. Like, he's going to be suspended for an extended period of time, or they're just going to rice him. He won't play at all. So I think it's crazy to me that anybody's even got this guy on the radar. Like, if the Texans want to ride him out for the next year or so, like if I'm the NFL, if I own my own team, I'm staying the hell away from him. Even if I really need a quarterback, I'm staying away from him. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to bring a guy like that in.
I forget who it was on Twitter that posted it today. They tweeted out that the Texans are content with keeping him on the roster and just deactivating him every week.
Yep.
So that kind of tells you something. To me, that tells me something. You know, it's like, okay, they're going to deactivate him because they coming down the line. Like, in their heads, they're keeping it there in their heads that there's a suspension coming. There's something coming. And if they're willing to sit him for the whole year and just deactivate him every single week, oh, man. It's like it makes Howie Roseman look like a genius.
Well, so going back, so I don't anticipate him being traded. I'd be shocked if he got traded. I don't anticipate it. The Dolphins themselves be a good team this year. Really like the quick coach. Brian Flores is a really good coach, and that pains me because I don't – obviously, I have no love for these teams. But Brian Flores is a good enough coach that team's going to be good this year. How many games they're going to win? Will they make the playoffs? All kind of depends on, it'll come down to a game or two. Jets are going to suck. They're going to blow. They're probably the worst organization in football, outside maybe the Lions or the Texans. So, they're going to suck again. It's guaranteed. Buffalo, Buffalo more so than and maybe Kansas City are so dependent on the health of their quarterback that if Josh Allen likes to run around a lot back there. And and I know quarterbacks that take chances and try to make plays with their feet eventually get hurt. If he were to get hurt this year, that's going to open this division wide open for the Pats or the Dolphins. We'll open it wide open for them. Even if he's out for maybe 3 or 4 games. Because Mitchell Trubisky stinks. He's not going to come in and win any games for them. And he's their backup. And he said what he does with his ability to be able to extend the play, the big arm, it meshes so well with what they want to try to do on defense that, their season hinges so much more on the health of their quarterback than maybe any other team. And with him being the type of quarterback that puts the ball down and runs a lot, like you said, even as big as he is, Cam Newton managed to get banged up every couple of years, broken ribs, ankle injuries here and there where he's missing some games. And I just see Josh Allen, he's played, 3 or 4 seasons at this point. He's going to start to get those little nicks and cuts and things like that where he's going to miss some time. And I think it's going to come back to hurt him. Last team, obviously, Pats. I'm a Pats fan. Chris brought up 90s football. If there's any team that's designed to play 90s style football, it's that team. Really fast, really athletic defense with a lot of Swiss Army knives in there that can do a lot of different things, like Kyle Duggar. Kyle Duggar can line up all over the field. So you have a team like that, coupled with, is probably the league's largest offensive line and a stable of good running backs, guys who can catch the ball, guys who can run between the tackles, guys who can bounce outside. So I think it's just going to be a lot of turnaround, hand the ball off, ball control, let the defense go out there, get a couple picks, turn them over, and kind of go from there. So there's 3 teams in that division that could end up in the playoffs this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they did. But yeah, I don't see the Bills falling unless there's an injury to Allen where he misses, 3-4 games. Because I think they're just going to win so many games this year that unless if he's hurt, they're not going to fall back close enough to any of the other teams.
So who do you think is the starter
For what, New England?
At quarterback?
I mean, with Belichick saying that normally Belichick would come out and would say, Cam's the starter. He's not, which is telling me that I think it's going to be Jones, which shocks me. I going into the camp this year, I didn't expect that. Josh McDaniels came out a couple weeks ago and said Cam's the quarterback, and now Belichick apparently publicly, guy who says nothing to anybody or gives them nothing, is now saying this. So it's a little shocking to me that that's what we're hearing out of them, is that he's kind of unsure about it. But Mac Jones, apparently, from what I saw in preseason, he's looked good. So if Cam Newton's having a hard time completing passes over 5 yards again this year. Do you really want to run him out there and waste a year where you got, like you said, a stable, good running backs, a line that can really help you move the ball up and down the field, and a really good defense? I don't know. Maybe you give it to the kid who can make some plays. We'll see.
So
I just wish they had a better wide receiving core because they just don't. They didn't. None of them guys really impressed me. Even Jacoby Myers.
So, all right. So now we'll switch gears and still stay on football, but go back to the East. So, gun to your head, who's winning the division in the East, and why?
NFC East or AFC East?
NFC East.
Okay.
Gun to your head, who's winning the division and why? Short and sweet answers. You go first, Eric.
The Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott.
Okay. Are you thinking, Pat?
I'm going to say Dallas too, and the reason why I'm saying Dallas is I still don't think that the Giants are ready to take the step. And one thing I learned from watching a lot of NFC football over the last few years, very seldomly does the same team win back-to-back division titles. So as far as Washington's concerned, they took it last year. I kind of ruled them out. I don't think the Eagles have any shot. And I just don't think the Giants are there to take that step. I think they're a little more devoid of talent in certain positions. I'm not sold on their defense. Their offensive line is not a good pass-protected offensive line still. They still didn't invest a whole lot into that, so I don't see them taking the step this year. Even though at times last year they seemed like they were the best team in the division. So I'm going to say the Cowboys. Even though their defense is ass, I'm going to say the Cowboys because they just got a lot of firepower.
Well, I am going to go against the both of you.
Excuse me.
As apparently I must bore Eric because he just yawned in my face. So I am going to go with the Washington football team because I've said it since the end of the season, and, it's the defense. Unless something happens, this defense just stinks. I get that, running the ball can expose Washington's defense. Well, every team in the division has a good running back. Saquon Barkley, Miles Sanders, Josh Gibson, Ezekiel Elliott. So as much as you want to say we can run the ball to get around Washington, we can run the ball to get to the Eagles. You can run the ball to get to Dallas. You can run the ball to get to the Giants. For me, it's the Washington's 1, Dallas with a close 2nd, Eagles 3rd, Giants 4th. And trust me, it pains me to put the Giants there and not Dallas. But, that could easily putting putting Dallas first, Dallas 2nd, and the Eagles 3rd. It all comes down to the two defenses. You can say what you want about the quarterback play between Dak and Jalen. We know Dak's better. But if his line is hurt, like they have been for the last 2 seasons, Dak's going to die back there again. We saw what happened when he tried to make plays last year. He had a compound fracture, which everybody from Philadelphia was to Washington to the Giants, we all cringed. And I'm cringing right now because my wife is watching the 9/11 special. I can just see the buildings on fire behind me. But, so with that being said, I got to go Washington. Dak hasn't played all preseason. Jalen Hurts hasn't played all preseason. So who knows what you're going to get with those quarterbacks. And Dallas fans can sit there and say, is MRI this? He still hasn't played a game since what, October? There's a difference between then and now. I don't know if Dak played against Chase Young. Because Chase Young will chase him down and throw him 30 yards into the stands. He's that good. So I'm not going to say they're running away with it. The division's just not good enough. Division's going to be 9-8 winner. I don't think if somebody wins that division at 7-10, it's a disgrace. It's 7-10.
Well,
But I'm not putting the Eagles at 14 losses. I know USA Today has them at 3-14. Let me tell you something. If the Eagles have 14 losses, that's because they rolled with Jalen Hurts because Howie was like, "F it, I want to prove that I was right and see if my guy can put up stats." Because as bad as Minshew has been, he knows how to win games ugly. Flacco knows how to win games ugly. Like they're viable backups. Now, me personally, I think I'd have Minshew better than Flacco because I think Flacco's cooked. So you spend a 6th round pick on Gardner Minshew. Doesn't cost you anything. You can sit there and say about the media hype. The media hype's going to be there already because it's the Eagles and it's Jalen Hurts and if Jalen Hurts is struggling, and then I'm gonna say if the Eagles go 3-14, I'll say by week 10 that the Carson Wentz drama will come back up. It's gonna
Carson
like
Wentz drama is always going to be there because it's Carson Wentz.
so. I'm gonna do a quick scenario. Eagles are 3-6. Colts are 7-2. How many Jalen Hurts fans will still defend Jalen Hurts? And that is what I'm assuming Carson Wentz is going to start the season, even though he's on the COVID list. But I'm assuming that Carson Wentz has played 9 games, and he's a big factor as to why they're 7-2. Like, do you think they'll still defend Jalen Hurts, or do you think they'll turn on him?
Is he starting the season? Last I heard about the foot thing, he was going to miss time.
No, he was practicing the other day.
Yeah, he got cleared for practices.
Wow.
But then the COVID contact came up, so that's the whole thing. So yeah, no, but he started running the other day. He's been doing drills, working out, and he got cleared to actually practice with the team. So there's this chance now for that first round pick for the Eagles, and now that was a story again.
Well, so they're going to turn on Hurts really quick if this thing goes sideways, and they're winning a lot. The Colts. They're going to turn on Hurts really quick. I mean, that's going to go downhill really fast. But I mean, I want to go back to something that Chris said about Washington, and because TK and Rise has said, Washington's going to run away with this division. I don't know of an organization in football that's more of a dumpster fire in the front office than the Washington football team. I mean, they don't even have a freaking mascot. All right, they don't have a team name. They're the Washington football team. There's they got more sexual harassment suits from the organization than Deshaun Watson has. The coach and the owner are already at each other's throats, and they got Ryan Fitzpatrick this year as a starting quarterback. Now, I saw a lot of Ryan Fitzpatrick because he played for the Jets, played for the Dolphins, and he played for Buffalo. Guy's been all over the place. So I saw him a lot. And frankly, I think the guy, he has spurts where he looks like the best quarterback in the league. I think he has spurts where, it's 1st and 10 at, their own 10-yard line, and he's trying to fit the ball in between 3 guys and gets picked off for a touchdown. And you'll see that 4 or 5 games in a row, and that's going to give that team, their defense is really good. They're going to be operating off of a short field, and they're going to give up points because of the stupidity he has. You think a guy who got 100 on the Wonderlic test and went to Harvard, he'd be smarter, but he makes a lot of really bad decisions. So that team's going to be handcuffed by his success. And just looking at what he's done through his career, he's going to go through a really cold pocket where they're going to go 1 for 4, 1 for 5. And that's going to really allow the other teams in the division to catch up. Don't bet on Washington.
So you're bringing up Ron Rivera and the coach, Ron Rivera and the owner. So I'm going to go with here's where I'm going to go better with it. Ron Rivera is probably the best coach in the division. You could disagree with me because Mike McCarthy won a Super Bowl. Mike McCarthy is a terrible head coach. He proved it last year. If they fail this year again, he's going to get fired, and Dan Quinn's going to be the guy. That's my prediction. I don't trust Mike McCarthy as head coach. He's a yes guy, and that's why Jerry Jones hired him. This division has 4 owners. Has 3 owners who meddle, and another coach who I just think is just a moron, and Joe Judge. I just think he's stupid. Giants fans love this dude because he disciplines them, he makes them run lapse. And I think it's stupidity at its finest. I don't like you can lose a locker room that way. I know you can gain a lot of respect, but you can lose more than you can gain from stuff like that. Again, it's just my opinion. But we have three owners who meddle. We know this. We know Jerry Jones meddles. We definitely know Lori meddles. And Snyder is going to have that history where he's if he's coming, if he's him and Ron Rivera are coming at each other's throats, which I didn't hear anything about, but it very well could be. But and then you have the owner of the Giants, and then you have Joe Judge. Right? Again, Joe Judge, I just don't think is a good coach. I think he's overrated, but he comes from the coaching tree of Bill Belichick, so he's going to get love because he's from that tree. And I just put the Ron Rivera aspect into that. He's the better coach. He's got the more experience. He's won more with less. He's had Cam Newton when Cam Newton had an okay line, but he had two good running backs and not really good wide receivers. When he went to the Super Bowl, he had a good running game, but they didn't have really good receivers. Had a ridiculous defense. But I got to give the edge to Ron Rivera. And then, like I said, with that being said, Washington a close second, Eagles third, and Dallas fourth, or the Giants fourth. So we'll go. Is every single owner medals? Yeah, but not as much as these three. And Al Davis. Let's go with that. Like the if you can come off the top of your head and think about it, those are the three owners that you can remember in your lifetime as a sports fan who meddled. And Steinbrenner. If you go back, so you had those four, Steinbrenner and oh my God, Ed Snyder. But Ed Snyder just wanted to win Stanley Cups, and he was like, I'll buy every single free agent that I can before there was a salary cap. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you're meddling and you're not doing best for your organization, your fans are eventually going to turn on you. It's just how the game goes. I hope I'm wrong. I hope the Eagles win the division. I hope they get a wild card. I don't see it happening. 13 wins to the guy who predicted that yesterday. God bless you. You may have done a little bit of drugs when you said that. I don't know. If you're listening, I apologize. But he definitely said 13 wins. I actually had to text T-Can Rises to ask him if that's what he said out loud. And then I was in another group chat. I was like, I can't be the only one who just heard 13 wins. And it got clarified by 4 different people. Well, that dude's on meth. I'm sorry. There's nothing you can. And again, I don't do predictions. Because after the 2017 season, because my 2017 prediction, I had them at 9-7, maybe winning the last game against the Dallas Cowboys, sneaking in at the wild card at 10-6. I didn't have them at 13-3 and going to the NFC Championship game, let alone win the Super Bowl. But that's where we're at. State of the Eagles, we are 15 days away from the regular season. We are 2 weeks away. It's Monday, right? So no, we're not this Thursday, but next Thursday, Tampa Bay and Dallas, they open up. So, we're looking at 10 days from the kickoff. So we're looking at a good show, of football that night. Hopefully Dak Prescott is Dak Prescott. And so I just got a text from a Derek. If Saquon comes back 100% for the Giants, do you put the Eagles at fourth? Absolutely not. They still have Daniel Jones at quarterback. They still have Joe Judge's coach. I just don't think I think Joe Judge is an inadequate coach. I don't think Saquon is not coming back 100% anyway. He's got 2 knee injuries. That dude's injury prone. He's literally a hit away from missing another. He's a hit away from being Blair Thomas when he was on the Jets. That's going way back. I am showing my age with that. Wow. But no, I don't know if anybody else has anything else to offer. We went 49 minutes talking some AFC East and some NFC East and some moronic things about Deshaun Watson.
No, I think I don't know. The one thing I do want to say is I think it's going to be kind of if Barkley comes back for the Giants and he's Barkley, pre-injuries and stuff like that. Even if he's 80%, he's more important to their offense than say Miles Sanders. And I can't go with, well, they have Daniel Jones. Well, we have someone that apparently is not proven either. So I can't really throw it. Like if to me, I don't know. I'll put them even at that point. I really will. I don't see the Eagles really upgraded that much on defense. I still think they have a lot of holes. They're better than they were last year, but I don't think they're. If Barkley comes back, I don't think they're that much better than the Giants. I really don't.
Why? So here's where I'll debate that with you because the Giants' offensive line stinks. That they're really coming to light that tackle that they drafted is not good.
He is pretty bad.
So he's just not good. And it goes back, like I said, we don't know what Jalen Hurts is. We haven't seen Jalen Hurts fumble the ball as much as Daniel Jones is. So if he fumbles the ball as much as Daniel Jones, then we're in for a goddamn really long season.
Yeah, but we still haven't seen nothing out of Jalen Hurts. So to me, that's just as bad because we haven't seen anything.
I
mean, at least Daniel Jones, we saw him run 80 yards and fall. We haven't seen nothing from Jalen Hurts. We haven't. So I can't put the Eagles above them when Jalen Hurts hasn't done anything at all. So
no, for me, I see the reason that I have the Eagles above the Giants is because of the Eagles defense. They have the players on defense that are better. Now it's just a matter of those players making plays. Clearly, it comes down to schemes and everything else. But I just think the Eagles have a better defense. Yeah, obviously, I'm never going to put Saquon Barkley over Miles Sanders. But who's the backup running back for the Giants?
I don't even know who that is.
And then that's not good.
Yeah.
And that's not good.
Because they let Alfred Morris go. It was Alfred Morris, but he's gone.
Right. So if you don't know the backup running back, that's not good. Because your backup running back should be playing in a couple preseason games in case Saquon's not ready. At least for the Eagles, we know, for the Cowboys, we know it's, what's his name? Number 20. I can't think of his name right now, but we know his number. Tony, I can't think of his name. Pollard. We know him because he's a good backup. Eagles have good backups. So you have Boston Scott. They have Kenny Gainwell, who got compared to Darren Sproles the other day. So
Giants got Devontae Booker and blast from the past, Corey Clement.
Ugh.
Corey Clement.
He stunk when he was here. He had 4 good games here. One was the Super Bowl. One was the game against Denver, and then I forget whatever else. I'll take it. He got us a Super Bowl. He had 100 yards. He had 100 yards and a touchdown in the Super Bowl. He's my hero.
I thought his foot was on the line, by the way, but we won't talk about that.
I know. There it is. He had to get that shot in before the end of the show.
Yeah. Well, just 2 things that I'm really hoping for this football season. I really want to be able to watch a game where the Packers are playing, where the Chiefs are playing, that, after, I watch it for 3 hours, I don't feel like I need to take a shower because I feel disgusting for the way the announcers gushed over Patrick Mahomes or gushed over Aaron Rodgers. Like, it's far beyond what it used to be with Brett Favre. Like, I remember watching the game as a kid, like John Madden talking about Brett Favre. I was just like, I feel dirty watching this. Like, it's terrible. And it's just like, it started ramping up with Aaron Rodgers, who, by the way, is a total douchebag. Like, I actually had a post from 4 years ago when he signed that contract that I said, Aaron Rodgers is the type of guy, I shared it on Facebook today, it's the type of guy that in 4 years, when this money hits and they can't afford to sign anybody, is going to be complaining about the fact that they can't sign anybody. But he took the money. He was happy about that. So I don't like the guy. And then, like just Patrick Mahomes, like between like the Kermit the Frog voice, his annoying wife or girlfriend or whatever the hell she is at this point, lying about like fans calling her names and stuff. And then like his hot mom going on and being like, oh, you called my son Pat, not Patrick. Like, shut up. Like, I'm just so tired of it. Like, They lost by what, 34 points in the Super Bowl, and they were still talking about making plays as he's falling down. Like, enough's enough. Like, let's just play. Let everybody enjoy it. Just stop like making it dirty and weird. Like, I hate watching those teams. So, if anything, maybe they'll suck this year. That would be great because then like I won't have to deal with it as much. But it's just annoying. They're on TV every week, and we got to sit through that and listen to it. It's just horrible. So that's my hope for this year, that we can get through all that and I don't have to deal with that as much.
That's the Houseman Rain of the week. Love a Houseman Rain of the week every week.
Yes.
So, all right. And then we'll end with Eric and doing our little sponsors.
Well, actually, I'm just gonna wing it because I don't have my stuff with me. I was running around.
No, that's why I have the stuff playing. But I will say this: Thursday, make sure you tune in because we have a wrestling show starting off the top rope with Ty Ashbury. He actually has a young female who wrestled in AEW, and it sounds like she's an independent wrestler, Leela Gray. Saturday nights we have the J&P podcast, which is actually, if you got to listen to it last Saturday, they're actually two young kids and they're very highly intelligent. Other than the one kid saying he still wants to keep Ben Simmons, but we'll go. That'll be another show. I kept. I'm like, stop it right now. And then we have the 910 Sports Show on Saturdays. Sundays. I'm sorry, Sundays at 9 a.m. God bless him for getting up that early on a Sunday, but my Sundays are about to end too. Other than that, I don't really have anything else.
Well, we also have the Roughing the Passer show.
That was
Sunday nights.
Right.
Sunday nights, 9:30. I believe it's 9:30. They're on the network.
Yes. Oh, and then if anyone is listening, if anybody is a Lehigh Valley Phantoms fan and is looking to do a podcast on AHL hockey, reach out to myself. Reach out to the message board on here. One of our first guests, one of our top 5 guests. She does a podcast and she's looking for a co-host. Other than that, I don't really have anything else to add. I know in October we are doing a live show at Monkey's Uncle. And then I think Pat's going to let us know about Oktoberfest. And then I think that's really it. I don't have anything else. Obviously Eric puts all our stuff out on Anchor, which, then they put us on Apple, Spotify. Our stuff is up on Spotify. I was listening to the J&P show today. And then, just give us a like on Twitter, CEV Sports. You type in CEV Sports, either the podcast network or come up with a CEV Sports regular one. Give us both a follow. We'll follow you back, retweet anything you want. And then go to our website for the full lineup that Eric updates all the time because that's what he does.
Yeah, I'm actually going to start sticking to just the network stuff. I'll let you guys handle the other stuff.
No, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't.
Yeah,
do
that. right.
I'm like Wakanda. We don't do that here.
Wakanda. We don't do that here.
Oh, and when you get a chance, go check out the new trailer for the Spider-Man movie. It looks awesome.
Very good.
So, anything else, gentlemen? All right.
No, sir.
Thanks for joining. Thanks, TK and Rises, Derek Kuntz, and a bunch of other people. All right. And